First dates are exciting and can be a bit frightening. I'm married now, but can vividly remember some of my first date experiences. There's nothing more embarrassing than being out at a nice restaurant and spilling a drink or unfortunately staining your blouse with spaghetti sauce. As always, I'm here for you, and as your relationship mentor, my goal is to provide as much value as possible. So in this video, I'm going to speak to you about the top 3 worst foods to order on the first date. The first food to avoid on the first date are items that contain a large amount of dairy. Even if you've been eating dairy for the better part of your life, it still can be somewhat difficult to digest at times. Needless to say, you don't want to be having a nice conversation over a glass of wine to find yourself having the bubble guts. Dairy products such as cheese can be a big part of an individual's diet, specifically for cultural reasons, or simply because they were fed too much dairy growing up. But I must prepare you for the worst case scenarios. With this being said, if you have any dairy sensitivities, or even if you're not sure whether you do or not, a first date is probably not the time to go wild with a dairy intake. The last thing you want is for your stomach to go haywire on you a few hours later, just when things are starting to get interesting. You must also take into consideration if the other person is vegan or lactose intolerant. Things could get a bit awkward. At the end of the day, the goal is for you to have a grand experience without spending the majority of the time in the bathroom. Ribs and wings are another food to avoid on the first date. When the waiter offers you complimentary extra napkins, it should be an immediate red flag. Any food that requires you to use enough napkins should be off limits on the first date. Now listen, I love ribs and wings. There's no denial in how tasty they are. But you must know that the evidence will end up all over your hands and face, and that could be a total turnoff. If these 2 items are the only thing on the menu that tickles your fancy, you could always use your eating utensils to cut the meat off the bone, or you could just bask in your sorrows as your date indulges. If you have both ordered the same thing, and it's apparent that things are about to get messy, then more power to you. There's one caveat that I might add. Unless your date is on Super Bowl Sunday, by all means try avoiding these mouth-watering ribs and wings. Trust me, you'll thank me later. The third food to avoid on the first date is spaghetti. Now listen closely. I love pasta, and especially spaghetti. There's nothing more soothing than a bowl full of spaghetti, meatballs, and sauce. But I must warn you to stay clear of this on the first date. If there's multiple dates after that, then that's when you can dig into your favorite spaghetti, fettuccine alfredo, and the list goes on and on. First dates can be awkward, so the last thing that you want to do is increase the awkwardness by attempting to be proper while slurping up red sauce. Spaghetti is messy. You run the risk of ruining your outfit, and when you're trying to wind those noodles around your fork, you're missing out on some key eye contact with your date. No one wants to look up at their date and see a face covered in red sauce, even if you do have table manners. Spaghetti could be the demise of a date that's going pretty well. So let's hear from you. Besides the 3 foods that I talked about, what are some others that should be avoided on the first date? Also, I would love to hear some interesting first date stories from you as well. Do you dread first dates? What emotions are you typically struggling with leading up to the date? As your personal development and relationship mentor, my goal is to see you all thrive in life, and that's why your free 1-hour coaching session is available right now. Please contact me now at lifecoachjscott@gmail.com to get started. If you've received value from this content and would like more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember to turn on your notifications so you'll never miss out on my weekly uploads. Thanks again, and until next time, be safe and take care.